Okay, hi guys. In front of you, you will need this preliminary example. And this example says the cost C of your monthly phone bill consists of a $30 basic charge plus 10 cents for each minute of long distance calls. And then you're told to complete the table and sketch a graph. So let's start by identifying the rate in this word problem. So, reading through one more time, the cost of my monthly phone bill consists of a $30 basic charge plus 10 cents for each minute of long distance calls. So from the launch we just did, I see this keyword for. I see it's going to be 10 cents for each minute of long distance calls. So I can automatically identify 10 cents for each minute as my rate. Off to the side, I'm just going to convert that into the fraction rate, just like we did during the launch. So this is going to be 10 cents for divided by each minute. So 10 cents per 1 minute. That's going to be important in a little bit. So to complete this table, the first thing I'm going to do is give my variables units. So t is time, and my unit of time is, is minutes. And then the cost is going to be, it looks like US. This is US dollars. So I'm just going to put a dollar sign. Okay, so if I talk for 0 minutes, let's see, I don't have to pay 10 cents because I haven't talked for any minutes, but I still have to pay this $30 basic charge, even though I'm only talking for 0 minutes. And then after that $30 basic charge, I'm going to be paying $33, and then $36. So you'll notice what's happening here is I'm talking for 30 minutes. It's 10 cents per minute. So I'm going to multiply this 10 cents by 30, and then I'm going to end up adding $3 to get to the next stage of my table. So if it's 10 cents per minute for 30 minutes, it's going to be $3. $30 plus $3 for the first 30 minutes. And I'm going to go ahead and continue to fill out the rest of my table. I'm just going to keep adding 3, it looks like. 39, 42, 45. It's a different color. So I'm adding $3, $3, plus 3, plus 3, plus 3 for each 30 minutes. Okay. So now it looks like I'm going to want to sketch a graph. For this graph, I'm just going to make I don't have like graph paper or anything, so I'm just going to make a rough sketch. My x-axis is going to be t minutes, and my y-axis is going to be cost in dollars. And I'm going to pick some points from my table, so I'm going to just go up 0, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150 here, 30, 60, 90, 120, 150. And then for cost, I'm just going to keep it simple. I'm going to go 30, 40, 50, 60. And then I'm just going to plot 2 points on my graph to make it easy. I'm going to plot the first point, which is 0 minutes cost $30. And then I'm going to plot the second point, 150 minutes costs $45. So that's going to be somewhere right here. And then I'm just going to connect the 2 points. Important thing to notice about my graph is that the y-intercept is going to be $30, which up here you can notice in the word problem, that's my, my basic charge. Or you can also think of this as the initial value. Okay. So now I'm told to compute the average rate of change of C over any time interval. So average rate of change, that should bring to mind a few different formulas that we've learned over the past week. And then any time interval, that's an indicator that I can pick any 2 points to make my calculation. So I can pick the first 2, I could pick the first and the last. I'm going to pick the first 2. So I'm going to calculate the average rate of change between 0 and 30. Let's see. To do this, I'm going to make these into ordered pairs. So I'm going to write this first one as 0, 30. I'm going to write the second one as 30, 33. And then I'm going to go ahead and label x1, y1, x2, y2. And I'm going to use my formula for AROC, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I encourage you to pause the video here and try this on your own, and then keep going and see if you calculate the correct average rate of change. So y2 is 33 minus 30, x2 is 30, x1 is 0. I'm going to end up getting 3 over 10. Sorry, 3 over 30. 3 divided by 30 is going to give me 0.10. You'll notice that the average rate of change that I got here should match the rate that I identified at the beginning of the problem. Interesting. Okay. So I can think of this average rate of change as the slope or the rate in my problem. Question C says to find a formula for C in terms of t. This is a linear function, so I know I'm going to end up with something that looks like y equals mx plus b. And I'm looking for a formula for C in terms of t. So just to remind myself of what my variables mean here, C is going to be the cost, like the total cost I pay for my phone bill, and T is going to be the number of minutes that I actually talk on the phone. So what I remember from the problem, looking back up at the problem, is I have a $30 basic charge plus 10 cents for each minute of long distance calls. So no matter what, right, even if I talk for 0 minutes, I'm still going to be paying $30. So that's going to be my initial value. No matter what, my cost is going to be $30. And then, additionally, adding to that $30, I'm going to pay 10 cents per each additional minute. So the way I'm going to write that is I'm going to use my rate, which I already identified at the beginning of the problem. Looks like this, 10 cents for 1 minute. $0.10 for 1 minute. And then I'm going to multiply my rate by number of minutes. Okay, so as you can see, when I multiply 10 cents per minute by the number of minutes talked, the minutes are going to end up canceling out, and I'll be left with the $30 plus the 10 cents. So that's just a good way to double check that I set up my equation correctly. So now I'm going to just put this into a final form. Number of minutes I'm going to represent with a variable t, and then this rate is going to be my slope. So let's go ahead and do that. My final formula is going to be c is equal to 30 plus 0.10 t. And there is my final formula. For a reminder, this 30 comes from my initial value, or how much it costs to talk on the phone, the basic charge, even if you talk for 0 minutes. And this point, the 0.10, comes from the rate, which is the cost per 1 minute, or the cost for 1 minute of each long-distance phone call. All right, and then for the very last part of the problem, I'm going to be using my formula to actually answer a question. So D says, if your bill is $135, how long did you talk long distance? So for D, I'm going to start by just rewriting my formula that I just made. 30 plus 0.10 t. And then I'm going to think about, where am I going to plug in this 135? If my bill is 135, how long did I talk long distance? I have 2 variables to choose from to plug into. And I want to think, is this 135 a unit of time, or is it a unit of cost? And it's a unit of cost. It's a dollar amount. So I'm going to plug in this 135 over here on the left side of my equation. And then I'm going to solve for how long did I talk. In other words, I'm going to solve for t. So to solve for a variable, I want to isolate it on one side of the equation. So I'm going to go ahead and subtract 30 from both sides. 135 minus 30 is 105. 30 minus 30 cancels out. And then I'm left with 0.10 t. And then my final step to isolate t is going to be to divide both sides by 0.10. And when you plug that into your calculator, you will get